Heyo, welcome into the CHGO White Sox postgame show presented by PointsBet. Use promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Welcome into Studio B of the CHGO studios here in our West Loop offices. I'm Sean Anderson. Alongside me, as always, is Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
Follow him on Twitter at Ecknerwall23. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. We talked about if the White Sox could sweep today in the pregame, and they did not. Sox lose 9-3, an ass whooping of the Rays over the Sox. But as the thumbnail says, Herb, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Is that true?
That is correct. I mean, if you have 2 out of 3 of anything, I think you're doing well for yourself. So, yeah, winning 2 out of 3 out of all these series, especially these tough teams. I've been saying the Tigers are coming 100%. They were, you saw Torkelson hit after the White Sox left.
Yeah.
Win 2 out of 3 there. Of course, the Mariners, I picked them as my AL West champion, 2 out of 3 versus them. And every year, my AL East champion this year, the Rays, they're right there in the AL East hunt, 2 out of 3 versus them. Not ideal today, not ideal way of ending it. I think we did this versus the Mariners too, where we have a chance to sweep and don't come through. But I can't, on the overall, I can't be too mad that they won this series. But, you know, sometimes they give away games. And today, I don't know necessarily it was given away, but not very enjoyable. I don't know if the guys were very into what was going on today. Kind of cold.
Yeah, in the 2 games that they could possibly sweep, 4 runs scored total, and I believe 7 hits in those 2 games. So the White Sox, in those potential sweepers, not able to pull it off. And that was something that we look back at last year, too, was just the inability to close out series strongly. I think they wanted to hand some of these teams some sweeps because I think they got close a lot last year, but just difficult for them to really close it out. And the offense was pretty much uninspiring, I think is probably the best word we can use today. They were getting perfect games until a walk, I think, in the 3rd inning. And then Jose Abreu finally came through in the 4th inning with a hit. But really, Gavin Sheets hitting a home run was the big headline for the White Sox offense today. But that came in the 9th inning when they were already down 9-2. So overall, a rough performance from the offense.
Good to see my guy Yumper in the comments. Saw him this weekend and forgot his name twice. I'm sorry, Yumper. I will never forget it again. You're my guy. KPW's in the house, along with Fred, who is always joining us. Yeah, it was an ugly game. Sometimes you're going to have those games. I'm not sure if that's one of Hawks' 60 losses you're going to have no matter what.
Yeah.
It might be between the losses and the games that you might get, because there was chances in this game to come back even after the rough start by Vince Velasquez, which we'll get to right now.
And yeah, I mean, the thing with Velasquez too, and Kirk says, good job winning the series. Main takeaway is we need more production out of Grandal and Aloy from the 4-5 spot. You also need more production out of Robert in the 2nd spot. I think before he flew out, he was 3 of 25 heading back to that 3rd game of the Detroit series, and he's hitting the ball hard, about a 93 exit velocity averaging on 22 batted balls since that series, but they're just not falling for hits. So you need more production out of Robert, you need more production out of Grandal, you need more production out of Jimenez, and it's just been a rough go at it for the Sox. Earlier we were asked, looking at the way that the White Sox have been attacking teams, low K rate, low walk rate. The K rate's coming up, the walk rate's still staying down for the Sox, and the more and more I see this, the more and more I feel like this is unsustainable for the Sox. They had, I think, right here, 9 strikeouts today.
Correct.
And only 2 walks?
5 walks.
5 walks. Okay, so that was good to see. Abreu walked, Grandal walked, Jimenez walked, and Engel walked. And then also Sheets got hit by a pitch, too. So, I mean, overall, I TA walked too. So 5 walks on the day for the Sox. 9 Ks to 5 strikeouts. I wouldn't still call them patient, though. I didn't see a more patient approach from the Sox. It really felt like the same approach, and it's not working anymore, or at least it's just not sustainable. It was sustainable for the first couple series, but the White Sox definitely need to become a little bit more patient if they're ready to tag teams for runs here.
And unlike the Mariners series, I didn't really see anybody who came in the game for the Rays today that I was like, no, that's going to be a tough guy out there on the bump. All the guys were hittable. JP Fireeisen was the best of them who started the game. I think he went 2 scoreless and struck out 3. But that Mazza, he was ready to get hit. Mm-hmm. The White Sox didn't accommodate him.
And Mazza had 5 walks. He couldn't find the strike zone at all. And the White Sox only get 1 earned run off of that pitcher. They should have had a much bigger day against Mazza. They should have had a much bigger day against Fireeisen. Fireeisen was just in the zone consistently. His stuff wasn't that impressive. He was just locating it.
Yeah, and sometimes you have a plan that doesn't go to form, and maybe you need to change. I was thinking when the White Sox were down 4-0, this game's not over. While Fireeisen's looked tough in his first inning, he doesn't look unhittable. And when Mazza came in the game, I was like, let's eat. Where's the fork and knife? We had thought that it was going to be Romero who was going to be paired to Fireeisen, which would have been awesome for the White Sox because he is no great chicks either. But versus this mediocre people who they put in the game today for the Tampa Bay Rays, the effort wasn't there. Some of the at-bats were very poor. They got the bases loaded twice, guys, and they only got 2 runs out of those opportunities. And it was a hit by pitch by Mazza, who was wild all day, and a pass ball / wild pitch between Mazza and their catcher Mejia. So really the execution struggled right there when they had the bases loaded and only 1 out, and then Timmy gets thrown out at home on a ball that barely gets past the catcher Mejia. So some dumb base running, some questionable things. Some people might not mind Timmy trying to go there. I kind of mind. You have one of your RBI guys up in Aloy, even though he's struggling. You got to hold your water unless you commit 100%, which he didn't. Stephen Nicholas and I, the producer Stephen Nicholas, saw him kind of hesitate when he saw the ball go away. That little hesitation cost them the run right there. So this is one of those games that I don't know if you just flush it and just moved on to Cleveland, because there's actual things in here that continue from a White Sox standpoint that we don't like.
Yeah. No, that's the biggest thing that I mean, the pitching honestly was fine for the Sox today. Anderson Severino had probably the worst outing for all of the Sox today. Even though Velasquez gave up 4 runs, 3 of them earned. Severino probably had the worst day out of all of the Sox. But the biggest concern here for the Rays, I mean, the Rays threw 80%. If you take out Mazza, who the White Sox did have success again, he threw 2 1/3. The Sox had 2 hits, 2 runs off of them. 5 walks, 1 K. They had a lot of success against Mazza. Mazza couldn't find the strike zone. But you take out Mazza, their pitchers, 16 of 20 on first pitch strikes. They were getting into the zone early. They were getting into favorable counts early, and they were able to take it to the White Sox today. The White Sox, if they're going to be this aggressive, they need to be starting aggressive from the get-go. We saw this in the first pitch. Fireeisen throws one to TA, first pitch. TA takes it right down the middle. Now, TA in that at-bat hit a smoked ball out to left center field, and Lowe for the Rays goes up and picks it above the fence. It was a phenomenal robbery. It was better than the Adam Engel one that we saw against the Mariners. This was a fantastic play, but outside of that, the Sox bats go cold until Sheets wakes up in the 6th inning.
I mean, let's not...
Or 9th inning, I'm sorry.
Let's not only blame the pitchers and the hitters. Let's blame some of the management, some of the coaching decisions that happen here. You know me. I'm a guy who says that managers don't matter that much, especially in games played. So when the game's on, the manager's job is mostly over. But today, I saw a glaring hole that happened with Tony. Now, I might be misinterpreting the rule. What I understand, you have to pitch to 3 batters or in the inning. Like, so if you come in for 1 batter, that guy gets out, you can leave the game. They can take you out at that time. But if you do come back in the next inning, you have to still pitch to the full 3 batters. So if you faced and finished the at-bat with the runner, the hitter in the 5th, you still have to face 2 more batters in the 6th if you come back.
Yes.
So the Aloy is at bat when Timmy gets thrown out. This is, I think his name is Jalen Beeks.
Yes.
He comes in the game. His at bat doesn't count Aloy. So the 1 batter he faced was Grandal in the 5th. Then he comes back for the 6th, so he has to face 2 more batters. Aloy, who gets out. And then it's Gavin Sheets, lefty versus lefty.
4-2 game.
Who in the White Sox lineup eats versus left-handed hitters in particular?
Who's that? That's Andrew Vaughn, the guy who was from the start of last year to August 19th, the 5th best hitter in the major leagues, according to what rated runs created plus against left-handed hitters.
And pitchers. So he just allows Gavin Sheets, who works the count to a 3-2 count. It was a decent at bat, but eventually he strikes out. He flailed on the last pitch. It would have been a perfect time right there to have Andrew Vaughn pinch hit on a team 4-2. The game's right there. It's hanging in the balance. Maybe he gets you a base runner. Maybe he takes it out. One of the two. But you get some juice, some momentum going in. I just think that sometimes this is where the managers matter. Like, you got to know the rule. Mm-hmm. And then secondly, I don't feel like Andrew Vaughn should be out of the game in the starting lineup. But if he isn't, God damn it, put him in the game when it's a favorable matchup for him. If we're doing this platoon thing, platoon him.
Right.
Make him face the guy. And if that guy just walks at Andrew Vaughn, cool.
But if
Andrew Vaughn gets out, cool. But I know that you tried. You at least tried to win the game there, not just putting guys in or keeping guys in because they started the game. It was a bad matchup versus Gavin Sheets. That right there, Tony should have taken it out.
But then, it wouldn't be a 9-3 ball game in the ninth if Gavin Sheets doesn't hit his home runs. So, the run differential gets cut down because Tony left it in. That's just that's four-dimensional managing, right?
He also left Anderson Severino, Sean Anderson Severino. You're not going to lose that name.
Yeah.
You're getting tagged with Anderson Severino, even if he's shitty like he was today. Whew, friends.
It's still my last name. So
I can see why that man wasn't called up before this.
Yeah.
He's got stuff. But he don't know where that shit's going.
Well, I saw someone just use a Ricky Vaughn. Was it Ricky Vaughn, right? Rick from Major League? Yeah, Ricky Vaughn GIF. So, it's very similar. Right? Anderson Severino throws hard. He just cannot locate it. A couple pass balls got by Grandal. And you do have the rule correctly. The rule states that the pitchers must face a minimum of 3 batters, an appearance, or pitch to the end of the half inning, with exceptions for injury or illness. If a pitcher faces 1 batter to end the inning, he may be removed. But if he is brought back for a second inning, he still must face 2 more batters for a total of 3. So that would have been the 3rd batter that Jalen Beeks had to face. He would have had to face Vaughn no matter what. We'll get to Velasquez in a second here. I see that people are talking about Zach Collins too. Guys,
it's KPW.
It's 5 games.
KPW just rubbing it in our face.
KP is just updating us. I don't think he's rubbing this in their face.
How great the damn Blue Jays are, and Zach Collins is going to be an all-star now. No, he's not.
I don't know about that.
But he was hitting home runs, hitting doubles. Blue Jays fans probably love him.
Probably. We don't. I'm fine with Reese McGuire. I got no issue with him.
Me either.
Grandal was fine behind the plate today. Nothing bad. But Reese McGuire, the more we see him.
He missed the ball that was thrown pretty much right to him. I want to catch who can catch. Like, you don't have to be 100%.
Which one?
There was a ball, I don't know if it was thrown by Anderson Severino or not, but it was a ball that was pretty much thrown right to his glove. They might have called it a wild pitch, but it was more of a pass ball on his part.
There was a pass ball given to Grandal, so
yes.
That probably was in the 8th inning there. So, and we'll get to Velasquez now because Vince Velasquez did end up pitching for the Sox. 4 2/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 3 walks, and 5 Ks. Let's go to the graphic here. And there was a wild pitch by Severino, right, but then when Rosarino was up, there was a pass ball. Let's get to Velasquez again. 4 2/3, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 earned. 3 walks, 5 Ks. You got Jaxo saying Velasquez was awful. I disagree. I honestly thought he was fine. They didn't lose because of Vince Velasquez. They lost because they only scored 3 runs. The big issue here today is the fact that they were not hitting. That's the biggest takeaway that I'll take away from the Sox. But Velasquez in the first inning, really unlucky, not great, not bad. He threw 20 strikes. He also threw 15 balls. He allowed a max exit velocity of 80.9. There were not any hard hit balls in that inning. 6 swing and misses, which is nice to see, but 4 runs allowed. He walked 3, a couple with the bases loaded, and he had an error where he could have easily gotten out of the inning. There was 1 out. It was a bouncer right back to him. He could have threw to home. Grandal could have threw to first base. Double play gets out of the inning, I think, with one run only scoring.
Yeah, it was his error. So it doesn't count on his ledger. They only gave him 3 earned runs in that inning. I always thought that if a pitcher makes the error,
right,
it should be part of his earned run average. But yeah, he wasn't getting hit hard. I think he got miffed by the high changeup or curveball he threw to Wander Franco, who just went up and served that ball to left center field. And then you get the almost broken bat single from Manuel Margot, the next at batter. And that probably Rosarino, sorry. And then it threw him off. And you see what happened next. He was walking people. He wasn't the same guy. Yeah, there was some soft hit contact, and he caused his own problem right there. He could have got out with only 1 run. Just catch the ball, which he did, and throw it home. We got a 1-2-3 double play. We're out of the inning. yes, I don't think that he is the necessary reason why the White Sox lost, but his performance in the first inning can't be happening.
It can't happen. The walks are the biggest thing. He walks G-Man Choi too, which loads the bases. He got him into a favorable count. He got him into a true strike count. And then the pitch that he made wasn't even close. It wasn't even competitive. He threw it right in the dirt. G-Man gets a free base. And then the next one, I believe, was the one that bounces right back to him. And he wasn't able to field it from Diaz. Actually, he walked Diaz on 4 straight pitches. And then Josh Lowe hits the fielder's choice that he miffs and completes the error.
And it feels like he takes way too much time. Mm-hmm. I don't know how major league batters feel when a pitcher's taking all that time, but I think it's advantage batter. Mm-hmm. If you're just holding the ball, that batter knows, like, okay, he's nervous about throwing one of his pitches. He doesn't want me to get this. And if you've seen the flow of the game so far, you're like, okay, he can't get over XYZ pitch. He's going to be featuring me this fastball or this side slider or this sinker. Get the ball and throw it. The more you think, study long, study wrong. Mark Burley was good because he got the ball and threw it, didn't give the batter a chance to think of what he's going to be featuring, and you get a rhythm to yourself. You get a nice thing of momentum on your side. Get the ball, throw it. You have filth. You have 95, 97?
No, 95 he tops out at.
And then that's the only problem. He doesn't have enough separation between his fastball and his changeup. His changeup's like 90.
Yeah, he gets a nice tail on his changeup, but you're right. I mean, he doesn't get enough differential. I mean, you talk about Lucas. Lucas throws around like 95, but he gets a changeup that's around 83, and that's one of the best fastball changeups in the game. But you need more of a differential than 4 miles per hour. And also another thing too, he's just not locating his breaking balls as accurately as he should. I mean, like, there's a couple nice ones where he had some sliders down and in, especially the first batter. He looked great against Brandon Lau, but other than that, it was a little rough. But he's limiting hard contact, which is fine, and he's still striking out some guys. I like his arm swing, his arm path. It has gotten shorter, but he does need to be more consistent about throwing strikes. That's the biggest thing that needs that can help Vince Velasquez in these starts. Before we go out to Vinny, because he is joining us from Guaranteed Rate Field, I want to mention the best way to support CHGO is to download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up. If you do that right now, you get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. But that's not it. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content, and you'll even get a free t-shirt of your choice from the CHGO Locker. That's $2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, and a free t-shirt from the CHGO Locker, all for making more than a $50 first-time deposit at PointsBet. If you have any questions, you can email pointsbet@allchgo.com, and we will help you out. PointsBet is your home for live in-play betting, and it just got even better. Introducing PointsBet's newest feature, the live NBA same-game parlay. For the first time ever, you can build the perfect live NBA same-game parlay only with PointsBet. Combine your favorite bets anytime during the game. If you're watching the Bulls and Bucks tonight, make sure you take advantage of the live NBA same-game parlay, the newest feature of PointsBet. And if you want more, you can boost your live same-game parlays with PointsBet. So watch live, parlay live, and boost live with PointsBet. And online sign-up is available in Illinois. You can download the PointsBet app right now and register your account from start to finish, all from your phone. So what are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Hi, Vinny.
Hey, guys. What's up?
Nothing much. How you doing? What's the shirt today?
Rocking the Who today.
Okay. Looked Who-ish. So I just wanted to get confirmation on that. Who'd you talk to? It's probably a quick little wrap-up here as the team's going to Cleveland.
Yeah, decently so. Obviously, I heard from Tony La Russa, but got to talk to Vince Velasquez as well as Gavin Sheets, covering kind of everything that didn't go right in today's game. But, maybe not as grim as it seems, from the outcome. Vince Velasquez and Tony La Russa both were pretty happy with what happened after the first inning, right? I mean, to get that kind of length out of Velasquez with how nightmarish that first inning was is about as much as you could have asked for, really, once it was already 4-0. And I mean, the White Sox had chances. The White Sox had offensive chances. I mean, in this lineup, as good as it is, should be able to erase a 4-run deficit. So, Vince Velasquez is going to be an interesting guy to follow here as they go along, not just in April, but throughout the season, and as long as they're going to need him. I think they're pretty happy with what he's doing in general. Obviously, the results, it's only the second start of the season for him, so they're going to need to pile up a little bit and be consistently like they were today in order for him to get pushed out of the mix. Because right now they're pretty happy with what he's doing from a process standpoint.
Did Vince speak about what happened in that first inning that got him so off to a bad start?
Yeah, I mean walks are bad. You know what I mean? Like I think every pitcher who issues some is going to tell you that boy, I shouldn't have done that. And he's a guy that if you remember back to that first inning when the balls were finding holes, they were doing it not because they were hit with a 110-mile exit velo or anything like that. So I think obviously there were some fielding issues from him specifically. But he was pointing to the fact that in years past, it might have snowballed even worse. It might have gotten to the point where it was 6-0, 7-0, and that it was 4-0, and that the offense had striking distance, that they had work that they could have done to turn this game around, was something that he was happy about doing, being able to shut out the Rays the rest of his outing after that first inning.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit more on Vince. If is there certain changes he mentioned on how, he was able to get back on track? Because, this wasn't the same pitcher that we saw in the first inning. His second, third, fourth, and fifth innings were very good. And even then, in the first inning, he was fairly good, just the walks that killed him. Did he talk about anything like, was it a mindset or anything that the Sox have helped him kind of get over that, helping a inning snowball, like you were saying, where it might turn into 7-0 instead of 4-0?
Well, the word he kept using was maturity, and maybe it's possible. Granted, I haven't watched every Vince Velasquez start over the last however many years, but you look at the results and the numbers from the last few years, they obviously weren't good. Maybe this is something that has clicked for him more recently. I mean, we've heard basically the same thing from Lucas Giolito and Dylan Cease when it comes to them preventing a game from getting out of hand when they give up a run or a few runs to not make it a deluge. That is something that has come with experience. That is something that has come with them learning at the big league level. And maybe Vince Velasquez, he's certainly pointing to the same thing today. Maybe that is something that's come along a little bit more recently. But I think another thing too is competitive drive, and I know that's kind of weird to hear, in a game where he gives up 4 runs and he lost, and the team lost and all that. Tony La Russa, both before and after the game, pointed to Velasquez as a competitor, as somebody who really wants to go out there and win every time. And we heard that a little bit from Vince in the post game when he was just saying, I wanted to be able to go out there and do that for my team. He said he told Tony La Russa in the second or third inning, I got this. This is my game. Don't take me out. I want to be the guy who can make up for what just happened in the first inning to keep the team in a position to come back and win. And, I mean, guys, he did that. You know what I mean? Obviously, you'd rather not be down 4 runs. But if you're looking on the bright side with this offense, to be able to stop it from going from 4 runs to 6 or 7, and then you have this offense, that did have its chances. He did what he wanted to do, at least after the first inning was over.
I don't know how much Tony spoke about the Jalen Beeks from the Tampa Bay Rays being in the game, but we pointed out that at the time of the at-bat with Jalen Beeks and Gavin Sheets, Jalen still had to pitch to Gavin Sheets, a lefty-lefty matchup. Was there any discussion there of maybe going to Andrew Vaughn to face that lefty who still had to be in the game?
There was not discussion of that. No, I know. Herb, you're watching Andrew Vaughn opportunities like a hawk over
Damn
there
straight.
from the West Loop Studios. So I am not surprised by the question coming from you and plenty of others. But no, I mean, listen. I think the team has plenty of faith in the guys that it throws out there every day. And if both Andrew Vaughn and Gavin Sheets are going to get those splits to even out a little bit, they're going to have to get some opportunities. That's what Gavin told me in spring training was, they don't expect themselves to be only able to hit one-handed pitcher. But the only way that they're going to improve is if they get the opportunities to do so. And so, a day like today is a perfect time to give Gavin Sheets a full game's worth of at-bats and make sure that he can, deliver in those kind of moments. And, he hit a home run in the 9th inning, as meaningless perhaps as it ended up being. But to just do anything against this Rays team, it seemed very challenging. That's what Sheets was telling us after the game. The way that they throw reliever after reliever at you on a day like today, or any day when they do have a starter on there, this team knows what it's doing from finding pitchers that can get guys out standpoint. And it is a challenge for any lineup, even one as good as the White Sox, to do that, as we saw with their limited production over the weekend in a series they still managed to win.
Right, and you mentioned you talked to Gavin Sheets. He hits the home run in the 9th inning. Did he talk about finally breaking through at all with his first hit there? That's a big one, even though it doesn't make the score that much closer.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of more team-focused stuff from Gavin. Obviously, we just saw a weekend where the offense did not do a lot from a run-scoring standpoint, and I think that he was kind of doing the same thing everybody else is, where you're coming off a tough loss, you're coming off a tough weekend in terms of the bats, and then you look up and the White Sox won 2 of these 3 games. So I think he was talking about how this is the kind of team that they're going to see in October. And to have the success they did in the one stat category that counts, right, the win column, is definitely a positive for this team, even though, as we keep hearing from everybody, to look ahead to the playoffs, it's going to be a totally different group on both sides, no matter what team you're playing right now. So whether it be the White Sox today, the Rays today, these teams are going to be in a much different place come October. But I think that's probably maybe the takeaway from these first 3 series is that these were 3 good teams. And these are 3 good teams that you could really see, either in the case of the Tigers, giving the White Sox a run for their money all throughout the season, or in the case of the Mariners and the Rays, teams that they might meet in the playoffs. And to have, 3 series wins against those 3 teams, especially facing the injuries that the White Sox are facing, it is a positive thing, not to try and flip around how bad things look today, but it's 1 game of 162. So
on a positive note, you spoke with Tony La Russa before the game. He had some positive news on a guy who we'll be depending on in the playoffs, on Joe Kelly. What do you say about him?
The update on Joe Kelly is that Kelly's throwing, without really any discomfort out in Arizona. They've gotten him to the point where he's got increased stamina. He's going a little longer in his bullpens. He's able to hit those numbers that he wants to hit on the radar gun without feeling anything from a negative standpoint physically. So, I think that he's still maybe a little behind where people might hope. Obviously, there haven't been any setbacks. He's probably right on the track the White Sox thought he would be at. But, it sounds like he's just now getting to face hitters for the first time. He's probably going to need a trip to Charlotte, it sounds like. That was what Rick Hahn told us last week in Detroit. But Tony says he's not sure because sometimes with these veterans, they're experienced enough that they don't need it. So we're going to see whether that happens or not. But Rick Hahn told us last week that Kelly could be out on a rehab assignment before the month's out. So that's a positive development. And the thing that I find so funny, when I talked to both Liam Hendricks and Aaron Bummer the last couple of days and brought up the idea of, what's it going to be like when Joe Kelly joins this bullpen? And their reaction immediately was to laugh. And so I think that, I think that it's a combination. Aaron Bummer said it was kind of a combination, not just of like, oh man, you can't help but laugh at how, the number of quality arms that are going to be in the bullpen. But, Joe Kelly might be a guy that fits in on this team from a personality standpoint too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just the fact that he, when he went up against the Astros, had that moment where he strikes out Correa and then, walks off the mound like that. I mean, that seems like perfect for the White Sox, perfect for when Lance Lynn comes back too, or Liam Hendricks. No, he's going to fit perfect into that bullpen. Could we do a little more house cleaning too on some injuries? I know AJ Pollock and Yohan Moncada were mentioned this weekend. Do we have updates on where they're currently at?
AJ Pollock is, enjoying the birth of him and his wife's child.
Yes,
so that all went good for them. So congratulations. I think it'll probably be very similar to what AJ told us it was going to be in Detroit, which is a mild thing that might only take a few days. I think Rick Hahn said at the beginning of the homestand that it was going to be a thing where it was like, okay, maybe not exactly 10 days, but 11 or 12 maybe is the max that it would be. So it does sound in line like that from Pollock and what he told us. And, like we discussed last week, he would know, right? He had a couple of hamstring pulls last year, so he would know here, and the precautions seem good. On the Moncada front, sounds like it might be a while still. He's still feeling discomfort when he moves defensively, and the White Sox, Tony La Russa said they're not even going to think about establishing a timeline until that is completely gone. They need him to be able to go completely full, which is in line too with what Rick said around opening day, which was they want it completely cleaned up so it doesn't linger throughout the season, so it doesn't pop up again. And if that means that right now they got to play it a little slow, then that's what it means. But he's out there working. We see him working every day, but apparently the feelings aren't gone when he makes certain movements out there in the field. Sean Anderson Severino had a
tough outing today. But what I saw too is that Tony just left him out there to get the last couple outs in that inning. Was there anything said about just him battling through his wildness and finding a way to get the outs that he needed for the Rays, against the Rays?
Anderson Severino did not come up post game. I would imagine that was what we would call mop up duty, and I guess there's a little bit of self inflicted mop up duty in that specific case. But listen, I mean, as much as happy as the White Sox were that Vince Velasquez went 4 2/3 innings, Vince Velasquez only went 4 2/3 innings, and we're still in this early part of the season where the bullpen is being so heavily relied upon. And so a guy like Anderson Severino has to stay out there and finish that inning, man. I mean, that's what has to happen because you can't use 6 guys every day. You're going to run out of pitchers. You're going to paint yourself into a corner, and there's going to be games that are much closer when you need to get outs to get to Liam Hendricks or to keep it tied or stay within a run or something like that, when you're not going to be able to use some of these guys because you had to pitch them the day before. So I was not surprised to see him stay out there. He didn't look very good at all, that's for sure. I'm sure he would agree with you. He was throwing the ball all over the place, but that's what happens sometimes. And I see folks on Twitter are always wanting to win every game, win every at bat. But this is baseball, and sometimes this is what's got to happen. And as ugly as it might look sometimes.
Final question I have for you. I'm not sure if Herb's got any more, but did Tony talk today about the plate approach of this team so far through the first 9 games? A lot of, this was a 5-walk day for them, which is, an aberration. But 9 strikeouts again. It feels like the Ks are ticking up. The walks, even though today it was more Mazza having bad control, feels like the walks really aren't there. Is he talking about how aggressive they are? It feels like a lot of free swinging out there. Maybe not free swinging, but a lot of swinging, a lot of aggressive cuts being taken by the White Sox. Is he talking about possibly the approach that the Sox have through the first 9 games?
Well, I think we've seen this over the last few years is that, and again, it's usually on a player-by-player basis, but, I mean, being aggressive is what a lot of these guys are trying to do. I mean, they've found great success in playing this way, be it Tim Anderson or Yoan Moncada kind of making specific changes to be more aggressive, or if it's, someone like Luis Robert who has, shown that throughout his time in the major leagues that being aggressive can work for him. I think there are guys on the team who have success the other way. Obviously, Yasmani Grandal is a great example of that. Yoan Moncada, to mention him again, has shown the ability to do that as well, and we've seen it from Jose Abreu, from others up and down the lineup. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that they're aggressive. It's just this is kind of what happens in the early going of a season sometimes. They always say the bats heat up when the weather heats up, and I think the approach maybe stays the same all the way through, but you can get some better success and better results once the weather turns for you right there. Gavin Sheets was talking. I thought this was interesting. Is that you got a guy in Mazza who you brought up there who was all over the place. He wasn't being able to really find the zone at all. He had thrown 8 straight balls when Gavin Sheets came up to the plate, and so Gavin's like, well, obviously I'm going to take on the first pitch. And then it's a strike, and he's in an 0-1 hole. You know what I mean? Right. So it's that mental game of, and these guys can almost kind of fool themselves a little bit, as Gavin was talking about, in getting away from what you want to do. Maybe he wanted to be aggressive in that situation, but he couldn't because he knew what the situation was with what the pitcher had been doing. And then it turns out that being aggressive might have worked out a little better. So it's something that's season long, and I really think that you shouldn't. Obviously, strikeouts are not what you want, but right. you can take the strikeouts if the aggression is paying off a reasonable amount of the time. And I think guys who have been aggressive and have made a career out of being aggressive, obviously Tim Anderson comes to mind. You can point to that as a very positive example of that.
Yeah, I don't mind the aggression because so far, heading into this game, the White Sox had the hardest hit percentage. So when they were making contact with the ball, they were hitting the hell out of it. But it is interesting just seeing that they really aren't. They're avoiding the 3 outcomes. They're avoiding Ks. They're avoiding walks outside of Mazza throwing 5 today. And even in a ways, it felt like they've been avoiding the home run. So it's just been interesting to see them approach and attack at the plate. But Herb, you got any more for Vinny?
Yes, emotional rescue. What year?
I believe that's 1980.
Boom.
Damn.
Boom.
Well, that's a good transition because you'll be in studio with us for the next 4 games as the Sox go out to Cleveland. And we have a little icebreaker that we usually do for our pre-games. And that's going to be us putting together our top 3 albums. So me, you, Herb, going to be putting together our top 3 albums on the pregame this week for Cleveland and the White Sox. Should we make any rules for this? Should we make any rules where Vinny can't put like 3 Rolling Stones albums in his top 3?
If it's his 3 top ones, whatever it is, go ahead. Explain your picks.
You got any rules, Vinny? You want us to any guidelines you want us to throw out, or is it just have fun on this icebreaker?
Absolutely. Obviously have fun. I mean, this is something that perhaps I've thought about a little too much, so I'm going to come at this. I mean, I could basically do it for you right now, but I think the idea, too, is that this is a 4-game series in Cleveland. We're going to be doing a top 4 or a top 3?
I thought we were doing a top 3, and then we were going to figure something out for the 4th game. I'm fine doing a top 4. You want to do a top 4?
I'm fine with it.
All right, we'll do a top 4. All right, so we'll be doing a top 4
I already have
this
2
week.
in my head. So.
All right, there you go. And now Vinny's got to think of another one, so he'll have a long Sunday.
He's already got it. Vinny's already got his top 50 albums all the time.
He's got it. All right, well, excited to talk to you about that on Monday. Pregame tomorrow starts at 4:30. Yeah, 4:30.
Early game.
So we'll see you tomorrow, Vinny. Go get some rest. Appreciate your work. You can follow him on Twitter at Vinnie Duber. We'll talk to you tomorrow, Vinny.
All right, guys. See ya.
Later.
See ya. Go read Vinny's work at allchgo.com. And why not tell you to become a member at allchgo.com? If you become a member at allchgo.com, you'll get access to Vinny's great writing. You'll get access to all of our great writers here on staff's writing. We got Adam Hogue of the Bears beat. We got Greg, Jay, and Mario of the Blackhawks beat. We got Matt Peck, who writes for the Bulls. We got Big Dave, who writes for the Bulls. Will Gottlieb's their beat writer. You got Ryan
MK sometimes.
You got MK of the
from
Bulls.
Australia.
You got Ryan Herrera of the Cubs. A lot of great writers over at allchgo.com. That's one of them, Vinnie Duber. And we want you to become a member at allchgo.com. Our members get access to that premium written content. When you become a member, you get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. If you like this little brawler sock back here or down there, you could get them on a t-shirt. They look crisp, clean, and nice. And the final thing, not only do you get access to that premium written content, not only do you get a shirt when you sign up, you also get access into the CHGO Lounge. That is a members-only Discord. If you want to send us any questions, feel free to send us questions. We'll take some on tomorrow's episode. But if you are a member of the Discord, jump in that Discord. Send us some questions if you have any White Sox-related questions. We appreciate the support. And if you want to read Vinny's writing, head over to allchgo.com. And if you enjoy CHGO, one way to help us to continue to grow is to download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up. Not only are you going to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000, but if you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content, and you'll even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. If you have any questions, you can email pointsbet@allchgo.com, and we will help you out. And in case you missed it, online sign-up is available in Illinois. You can download the PointsBet app right now and register your account from start to finish, all from your phone. You'll be signing up with the fastest sportsbook easier than ever, so you could start living your bet life in seconds. So what are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Okay, there's a couple more questions I want to throw out that are in the chat here before we get to the White Sox winning 2-3 against the Rays, and before we preview that Cleveland series.
Online stripping ones?
The online stripping ones, online strips
Without
without clothing. Yes, so shout out to Naked HDXYZ for that one.
That's what stripping is.
Well, yeah, no clothes.
No clothes.
Yeah, I think that's the point.
I'm not going to your damn website now that you're redundant.
One I want to bring up, it's a little bit above. It's from Tom Jankowski, and it was, how do they fix Luis Robert, move him down in the order? You stopped picking him for pick-to-clicks, so that was one of your ways to fix Luis Robert.
I fucked him. I kept on picking him.
Fucked him?
And he, I mean,
Hey. Yo, what?
I know we're doing the naked thing there. I fucked him on the batting. Sorry, I shouldn't be swearing either, guys. You to allow Luis Robert to be Luis Robert. Just, hey, go ahead and do your thing, man. The numbers will work out eventually. There's nothing that's wrong with him necessarily. He's still aggressive in the zone, still aggressive a little bit out the zone. He's just running into some balls that are just a little tough for him. I think he'll be fine. Probably cold, too. Hell, it was cold the other day when I went to the game, and today it looked frozen.
Yeah.
White Sox had as many errors as they had hits, so it's not just Luis Roberts having troubles right now. It's pretty much the whole lineup.
Yeah, and there was a tweet tweeted out by Scott Merkin after his first at bat, which said Robert was in a 3 for 25 slump. I think that might be up to 3 for 27. But I looked into the data and see if he was actually slumping or not. He's averaging on that 3 for 25 run a average exit velocity, and this is on 22 batted balls of 92.3. A hard hit ball is 95.
So 92.
He's basically hitting hard outs left and right. He had outs of 105, 111, 110, 111, 101, 101, 98, 96, 99, 92, 95. I mean, he's hitting the ball hard still. He's just an extremely aggressive player that will work at times, and it will go against him at times. Right now, he's in one of those streaks, but you didn't notice he was in one of those streaks because in that streak, he still had a home run. He still leads the MLB in stolen bases. He's still a very, very effective player. It's just not clicking or working right now, but he is still hitting the ball hard, and he is still getting nice results off the bat.
0 for 16 over his last 4 games. Only 2 strikeouts, though, to your point.
Yeah.
So he's hitting the ball.
Right. So that's the thing. I would rather see him hitting the ball and just having bad luck. There's a stat, BABIP, which is batting average on balls in play. Usually that is under 400. That's usually under 350. Roberts right now, or at least, Roberts right now is probably under 200. So, I mean, it's
running some bad luck.
Yeah, he's running into some bad luck, a lot of hard hit balls. And maybe I need to look into this a little bit more. Maybe there's a certain spot or zone they keep pitching to, and that's where he's getting out. So maybe it needs to be a little bit of adjustment there. But right now, he is hitting the ball hard still. So I don't have a lot of worries about Luis Robert. I do think that it's fine. There was also a question about the umpire. He was okay. He wasn't great. He wasn't bad. It's an umpire. I mean, we have so much modern technology that makes him look stupid, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't think the ump was bad today. Overall, they're still going to lose 9-3 if this ump was different. I mean, that's not what lost them the game.
Not at all. I mean, he missed a couple pitches right in the zone, but like you said, it wasn't a thing of the umpire cost the White Sox in a momentum game right there. So yeah, I don't too tough look at the umpire, even though at that time when they missed the pitch that was right over the plate, I was like, you got to stay with us, Blue. Come on now.
Yeah, there was the one, I think it was a hanging curveball that Grandal absolutely had a strike. I thought he didn't botch it, but he started yapping at Vanover after it. So, I mean, there was probably like maybe 6 missed call strikes, which overall is fine. And, yeah, Luis's BABIP is at 195. That'll come up, folks. It should come up to at least around 250.
185. It's dropping as we speak.
There you go. So Alec giving us live updates that it's down to 185. That should be higher. And also, too, like balls, batting average on balls in play, that doesn't count the home runs, friends. Though those balls aren't in play. Those leave the yard, as we say. So right now it is just very low, but with how hard he hits the ball, there might be a run here where he goes 16 of 16. He's one of those players.
We know that. We know he can get on fire. You guys,
right.
So yeah, I don't worry about a cold series here in Chicago, and then we're going to continue a cold series in Cleveland. But I don't too tough worry about people struggling in April. Same thing with Jose Abreu. All his career has always struggled in the months of April. And then when August comes around, that's Jose Abreu's month. I feel that same thing for Luis Robert. Once the weather warms up, so do they.
And again, it's what are the results telling you? The biggest thing that I'm worried about is that the Sox, I think in the past, 2 out of the past 4 games, they've struck out 9 times. That is something that concerns me. That's the biggest concern for the White Sox, but the balls are still being hit hard. I mean, you look at the bad luck of Tim Anderson. Tim Anderson smokes a ball much harder than Gavin Sheets does in the 9th inning. He laces a ball 104 off the bat, a 28 launch angle. It goes 380 feet, and then Lowe goes up and just absolutely picks it off the top of the fence. A fantastic running play. It was insane. The Sox should have been, 4-1 after the first inning, but it's just bad luck right there. I mean, that's baseball.
That has an expected batting average of 930.
Yeah, 930. So that had a 93% chance of going down for a hit.
Sometimes
there's the 7% chance.
Yeah,
right?
Sometimes that happens. It's a great play. You tip the cap. That's it. And then, like you said, Gavin Sheets in the 9th hits a ball, not as hard and hits it way in the air, and it finds its way over the fence. In a regular day, that ball's way up there in the 107 area, almost hitting the goose if it was still there. Today, it's a wall scraper. Just the weather conditions weren't great. Sometimes you're going to lose a game, and today the White Sox just didn't have it. Tip the cap to the Rays, even though I don't think they necessarily won the game. It's more the White Sox lost and handed the game to them because of all the errors they had. But sometimes you're going to have them.
Right. And I mean, too, if you don't have that first inning, then you might not have Anderson Severino come in. Then you might not have, a 9-3 ball game. You take out those first 4 runs, it's a 5-3 game.
And then it's like Kendall Graveman instead, or Aaron Bummer instead of Severino.
Yeah, and also Alex says, R.I.P. the Goose. The one thing that I love to see from Vinnie Duber, our guy, he tweeted out after the Gavin Sheets home run, ghost honk, because he used to tweet out a honk for every time someone hit it near the Goose. But R.I.P. the Goose.
And Vinnie had the best idea I've ever heard of to use that Goose, where if somebody hits a home run on the White Sox, beer pours out of that Goose's mouth, and people are just waiting for it, just waiting for their extra beer. I mean, how great would that be?
And Beef showed that, like, we were over at the 108 on Wednesday, and we were sitting with Chirizi, and they have in the Miller Lite Landing, they have these 2 sides of like a waterfall going down it, and apparently Beef Loaf of the 108 tweeted out that they turned off the water features, so all the cool features of the Miller Lite Landing are being shut off.
It was on yesterday at the end of the game. I saw it because our guy Sam Panianovich, his brother Adam, who I think used to play for the White Sox in their organization, he took his Liam Hendricks bobblehead doll and slid it all the way down the waterfall. The water was on at that time because I was right there visiting the folks in the 108 at the end of the game. So it was running at that time.
Okay. Well,
so maybe not early when Beef got there, but eventually it was running. So it's called the Miller Lite Landing, I think now.
Miller Lite Landing. And
not that great.
There was another thing, too, in the comments that was a very common theme. It was just talking about, this is not a start that you can be mad at. Yes, this is a frustrating game. Yes, losing 5-1 to the Mariners is a frustrating game where you have barely any hits and your only run is on a weird pop-up from Jake Berger. And it is frustrating to lose that first game to Detroit 5-4. But overall, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. This is what the White Sox have been doing all year. They're on pace for 108 wins.
Yeah, we just can't come on here and it's like, forget everything. They're 6-3. I mean, yes, it's good. Awesome. We do not begrudge them that. We love that they're 6-3, but we can't just come on here and it's like, who cares about the loss? They're 6-3. We got to talk about what happens because some of these themes are long-standing things with the White Sox, and we just want them to be nipped in the bud before it gets too serious. And then if we lose a series and like, now we can talk about it. Like, no, you talk about what's bad and what's good at the time that it happens. And then we go on to the Guardian series. If they go 3 for 4 there, we're going to pretty much be positive.
Yeah, Sox first homestand, 6 games. They go 4-2, win the first one 3-2, win the second one 6-4, lose the third one 1-5, win on Friday against the Rays 3-2, win on Saturday 3-2, and then lose today 9-3.
Looking back, bats haven't even gone. That's the thing.
Right. The only day that they were here was that Sunday where they would go 10-1 against the Tigers.
I'm not worried about the White Sox. I'm just talking about what happened today. When they get their full lineup together and their full pitching staff, this is a World Series contending team, I believe.
Right. But what's this team going to look like in May once Lynn's healthy?
Yeah, once we get the bats going and people start hitting like the back of the baseball cards, this team's going to be winning these games, even if you give up 4 runs the first inning.
And I'm not really too worried about the bats in general. Like, I mean, looking back on this series, the 4 wins, the 2 losses, you could have swept both of them. Like, yes, the production isn't there. I know fans are upset that this team should be scoring more runs, and they should be. But I do like the batted ball data. I mean, it really does look like the White Sox are seeing the ball and hitting the ball well. Jose Abreu has not hit the ball this hard in the month of April, ever. Like, I mean, this is an aberration when you look at his numbers and how hard he's hitting in April. This might be the best that Jose Abreu will be. He is warming up, and we know how warm he can get in those warmer months. So far, he is hitting the hell out of the ball. Tim Anderson is hitting the hell out of the ball. He should have had an extra base hit today. He did not. I think that there are still some pieces that need to start clicking, but there are a lot of signs to show that the Sox are still there. And you look at the starting pitching, that has been fantastic for the Sox so far, and I understand Velasquez didn't give you a great outing, but if Vince Velasquez is going to give you 4 earned runs over nearly 5 innings pitched, the White Sox should and will be satisfied with that. You just need to score more than 3 runs. That's the issue here, is the offense, at least today.
Yeah, and like I said, Fred echoed it. When you have as many hits as you have errors, it's going to be a tough day. It's going to be a very frustrating day, and that's what today was. I'm looking forward to the Cleveland series. I'm looking forward to seeing those guys again, and the White Sox have a game plan where they can pitch the first 3 guys. So I think it's Miles Straw,
Stephen Kwan,
and then stop pitching to the third guy. Don't pitch to ladies and gentlemen, we have 4 post games here versus the Cleveland Guardians. If the White Sox ever pitch to Jose Ramirez when they don't have to, I'm going to be on 1,000. He leads the league right now in RBIs. There's no reason for him to. Behind him is Franmil Reyes. Power hitter, but not that good. And behind that is just a bunch of Jimenez's and Clement and Bradley and Mercado and Hedges. Pitch to any of those dudes. I don't give a damn if his base is loaded. Walk him. Do not let Jose GD Ramirez, that's his real middle name, GD, goddamn, Ramirez beat the White Sox. Do not. There should be 0 RBIs from Jose Ramirez in this series. 0. Because they've walked him every time. Like, over 16, or just 0 for 0, 16 walks.
Give him that 1,000 on base percentage and give him that 0-0 average. Yeah.
Because if you give him a chance to hurt the White Sox, he will.
Last year, he ate against the White Sox. He was 242, 342, 530 for an OPS of 872.
Stop pitching to him.
Oh, guess what, Herb? It gets worse. He had 16 hits. Guess how many were extra bases?
10.
9. Close enough. 5 home runs, 4 doubles.
Yeah.
Don't pitch to that man. He had 15 RBIs against you last year. That was tied for the most against any team last year.
If Franmil Reyes hits a home run against you, tip the cap when you just put on Jose Ramirez. I cannot have it. If
it's 0-0, if it's 2 outs and it's, no one else is on, then pitch to him, go after him. Maybe you give up a solo homer to him.
You better
That's
be
fine,
in the lead.
but
you better be in the big lead, like a 8-0 lead.
Yeah.
Yes, then you can pitch to him. But if it's close, no, Jesus.
So you're going to be taking a lot of Jose Ramirez betting props this weekend.
Because I know that they're got pride and they don't want to act like they're pitching around Jose Ramirez, and he will make them pay again. Stop. It's not the definition of insanity, but doing things that you already know are going to get you in trouble. It's just idiotic. Mm-hmm. Let Franmil Reyes have the series of his life, please, Jesus. If that happens, I'm like, hey, I'm not fine with it, but it's better than Jose Ramirez doing Jose Ramirez things, and we know that he's the only one on the team that can really damage the White Sox because it's going to be hard enough already. We got Bieber going to the bump on Monday.
Yep.
If that game gets played, that's going to be a tough game. Tristan McKenzie, also a tough customer too. Do they have Aaron Savale going or Plesac? Like, they have starting pitchers, and we know that ninth inning beast, Emmanuel Clase, is throwing 102 clutters. So, yes, this is a series where we should take 3 out of 4. They're not that good, but you can make them good by pitching to Jose Ramirez, by having poor at-bats to Shane Bieber, by allowing them have the lead in the ninth inning, and that gets that beast of Emmanuel Clase.
Savale pitched today. It's going to go Bieber versus Keuchel.
Don't like that.
McKenzie versus Lambert.
Don't like that.
Plesac versus Cease.
Baby, that's one win.
And Kopech versus Quantrill.
Let's go. We split series right there. I'm feeling it.
And honestly, I feel like the one, just knowing the White Sox baseball, they'll lose the ones with Cease and Kopech on the mound.
They better have won the other two.
Keuchel and Lambert. Looking back at the series against the Rays and Mariners, the biggest thing that worries me is the fact that Shane Bieber is on the mound for the Cleveland team. I was going to say the old nickname, Guardians. The fact that he's on the mound for the Guardians. This is a team right now, the Sox, that it feels like their plate discipline's leaving them a little bit. This is a guy that could spot his pitches anywhere he wants to put him. He doesn't have the velocity that he did last time you saw him. He did have an injury, and he hasn't been able to fully bounce back from that. There's also some sticky stuff that I think he's missing. But overall, he is still going to be able to hit his spots. It might not be 97, but it will be around 94, 95. He's still hitting the spots, and we know that slider is going to be nasty. It's going to be interesting to see and talk about tomorrow if, what his K-prop is at, and if the White Sox can really battle him, because this can't be a game where you have 10 strikeouts against Shane Bieber. I want to see exactly the same approach that you just took against Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray is a Cy Young winner that took it to you last year, 13 and a third, had 27 Ks, and you just tagged him for 6 earned runs. This is Shane Bieber. This is a guy that you have seen time in and time out. His stuff isn't as good as it was last year. You need to jump on him. Robbie Ray's stuff wasn't as good as him last year. This is the time you jump on him. Here in April, you're hitting the ball hard. Continue to hit the ball hard. You need to knock around Bieber and not let him feel comfortable up there, because this is a guy that can take it to you and has taken it to you time in and time out again. So this is another guy that I'm afraid of. And if the White Sox start off this series on a poor foot, I don't know if it's going to be as easy as a 2-2. We lose against Bieber and we lose against McKenzie, because Plesac has swing and miss stuff. Quantrill can be dangerous as well. I don't like if the White Sox start off on a bad foot. If they go out and they are aggressive and nail Bieber, I think that's going to be something that is going to be a very big storyline for the White Sox if they get off to the right start against Bieber on Monday.
I'm looking at Steven Nicholas has the game logs of Shane Bieber up right there. The one right there lower than the April one there. There's August 30th. He pitched, what?
6 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned.
Give me that. It's not a lot to ask for.
And
give me that.
Can you scroll up, Steven, just real quick? Because that's a game that 11 strikeouts. So that's the part that I don't like, because he's highlighting here April 13th of 2021, 11 Ks over 9 innings. And then April 30th, 6 innings, 11 Ks. So that's the thing. You can't have 22 Ks over that amount of games. And I'll look up his entire stats against the White Sox last year. But he's fantastic against the Sox. And this is something that the Sox have seen him so many times. You have to learn from what you have seen from Shane Bieber, and you have to make him adjust now. Now is the time where you've seen the book on Shane Bieber. Take that book and throw it at him.
Well said, sir.
Thank you. I'm looking to try to find his career splits last year against the Sox, because he did end up having that injury, and his stuff did fall off just a little bit after the sticky stuff ban in July. Last year against the White Sox, he pitched 4 games, 25 innings, 32 Ks, 5 earned runs for an ERA of 180.
That's decent.
That's decent.
That plays.
5 earned runs over 25 innings, 4 walks, 32 strikeouts. Jesus Christ.
Different approach. You faced him last year, and he did this to you. As Sean said, same thing happened with Robbie Ray. Maybe he doesn't have it tomorrow like Robbie Ray didn't have it on Wednesday. Take advantage. Understand what you did last year will not happen. 25 innings pitching, he struck out 32 of you, and he had a sub-2 ERA when he's facing you. That won't go. If you're the offensive juggernaut that we pretend you to be, and you think you are, I don't care if Yoan's out the lineup, and I don't care if A.J. Pollock's out the lineup. You have enough to dominate Shane Bieber. Let's try and do it. Let's try and do what we need to do. I know he's a tough pitcher, but we're supposed to be a tough hitting team. So if we're going to tough hitting team, we need to establish that you put your ace out there, you're still getting hit hard. And the results might not be there for the White Sox, but they're hitting the ball goddamn hard.
Yeah.
And I want them to continue for Shane Bieber.
And the one thing that I worry about is the fact that Andrew Vaughn didn't play a ton against Shane Bieber last year. He did start 2 games against him. Bieber started 4. He does not have a lot of success against Shane Bieber. 7 at-bats, 4 Ks, no hits. So that's the one thing that I do worry about. Strikeout swinging, reach down in air, strikeout swinging, ground ball double play, strikeout swinging, ground ball, third base to first base. So he has not let a ball go out into the outfield yet against Shane Bieber. So that's the one worry for the Sox here.
Don't worry, Tony will sit him on the bench tomorrow.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll see if he sits him against the bench. Sits him on the bench, and we'll see if we see Gavin Sheets, who is red hot. And also, I said earlier that his home run today was his first hit. It was not. He has 3 hits on the year, my friend. So
you said first home run, I think.
I think I said first hit, and it was a big one. So I think that would be, a lie. His 3rd hit and his first big one of the year, a big fly. So Sox versus the Guardians, 4-game set. We will have the pregame for you 30 minutes before first pitch, and have the postgame for you after the last out on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It will be me, Vinny, and Herb in the studio. It should be a good time. I think that's it. Any other little notes that you got to get to? You got your whole thing in about Andrew Vaughn wanting to be a pitch hitter for Gavin Sheets in the 6th.
I did. I got all my stuff I was pissed about in the game off today. The White Sox are 6-3, even after a poor performance today. They're one of the best teams in the American League. They'll be fine, but also today was an unacceptable effort, I believe. They need to do better. The game wasn't over after the 4-0, and we had a couple opportunities to get that game closer with a couple bases loaded with one-out opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, that was the one thing. Like the Sheets at bat, Mazza ended up throwing 8 straight balls. He ends up getting that first pitch strike, but then ends up hitting Sheets anyways. So, I mean, then Sheets drives in a run, unwillingly or not even trying to, just getting plunked by a pitch. Sox start a 7-game road series, 4 against Cleveland and 3 against Minnesota. We will have a lot of coverage. Minnesota!
I don't know if that's in this room.
A lot of coverage on the Cleveland series, and that will start on Monday. We appreciate everyone jumping in the chat. Alex, Steve, Fred, Riley, Rex, Fred again, later friends. Happy New Year's. Also want to give a shout out to Naked HD XYZ online strips.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching and participating in the chat. For Herb Lawrence, you can follow him on Twitter at Eckernwall23. For Vinnie Duber, who joined us at the ballpark at Vinnie Duber, you can follow him on Twitter. You can follow us, CHGO White Sox, at CHGO_White Sox. We also want to thank our producer, Stephen Nicholas, for his great work. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. That is going to do it for the CHGO White Sox post-game show. We will be back tomorrow as the Cleveland Guardians welcome the Chicago White Sox for a 4-game series in Cleveland. We will see you tomorrow, and go Sox.